North East Combined Authority Cabinet, and welcome to Sunderland. Thank you very much to Sunderland for hosting us. Thank you, Councillor Johnson, for today. It's absolutely brilliant to be here. Are there any declarations of interest today? Item 2. Yes, John.
I don't think it's directly relevant to item 12 on the agenda, but the Chamber is the lead employer representative body on local skills improvement plans.
Lovely, thank you. If you feel like you need to exclude yourself at any point, let us know, but I think other than that, we've heard your declaration. Item 3 is announcements from the Mayor and the Chief Executive. First of all, I just want to say a massive thank you to Cabinet and to officers for all of your support over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, I've had a little period of absence. Huge thank you to the NHS. It's been a little bit of a time, and people have really stepped up and made sure that everything has been covered while I've had to have that bit of time off. It's great to be back, and I just want to put on record my thanks to everyone. Second of all, it will be no surprise to anyone to hear me say congratulations to Newcastle United for winning the Carabao Cup. It is absolutely brilliant news. I hope we can all agree it's brilliant for the region, and I absolutely firmly hope to see Sunderland go to Wembley in May as well, bringing more success for the region. And it's brilliant to see the Heat, Gateshead in the playoff places as well, bringing kind of football and that real passion to the region. I think we've had a really uplifting weekend, and we've clearly got more to come. So I just want to say congratulations for that. I think it's important to welcome our new colleagues around the table. The North East Combined Authority now has got a full directors team, which is incredible. Huge thanks to everyone who helped us to get there. We've had support from chief executives and from cabinet members in getting us to the point where we've been able to do that recruitment. And it's welcome to Alan, Phil and Charlotte, who will take up their roles ably, I'm sure, and help us to deliver the manifesto and deliver for the people of the region. And of course, welcome back to Tobin. After your period of sickness, we're really, really grateful to have you back, and we're glad that you'll be here to help us, as we've got a really important agenda today, delivering local transport for the people of the region. And then finally, and last but not least, I've been sad about this moment ever since I know that it was coming. It is Mayor Norma Redfern's last meeting. Obviously, she's not able to attend, and Councillor Johnson's here on her behalf. But I guess on behalf of the Cabinet and the region, actually, I just want to put on record our sincere thanks to Norma for everything that she has done, getting us to a point where we have a fully devolved region, that we're all sat around this table. She is the absolute constant who took us through that process, for being such an inspiring force across our region. I think probably the most popular politician, and I don't think any of us have a problem with saying that, that we've seen in a very, very long time. And for me personally, she has been a mentor and an ear, and somebody who I have really looked to for a lot of years. So thank you to Norma. I'm really sorry she's not here to hear it, although I'm quite sure that this will be the first of numerous opportunities that we'll get to say it, and I don't imagine that she's going anywhere anytime soon.
Madam, can I just...
Yes, Glenn?
I would like to just go along with the remarks you made about Norma Redfern, because she has, as someone who is very different politically, I've always found her very good to get on with. Frightening at times, but very good to get on with, and has put her heart into North Tyneside Council, and also the setting up of this as well. So I would go along fully with your remarks.
Thank you. Any other remarks? Martin?
Again, endorse everything that's been said about Norma, but the one thing I would say about Norma is that she's been the one stable rock around which we've been able to build. Our work in North Tyneside, of course, is legendary, but in terms of her commitment to the devolution process and bringing us all together, I think without her efforts, we might have struggled, and I think that she needs to be recognised for the major contribution she's made, not just to North Tyneside, but to bringing the entirety of the region together. She's been around longer than any of us in this room, and has been instrumental in that work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think important to say, Dame Norma Redfern absolutely recognised as she should be, not for just her elected career, but for years of dedicated public service in education before that as well. Lovely, thank you. And we'll make sure that Norma receives all of those best wishes and probably a little something from all of us as well. Henry, do you want to make any announcements or say anything at this point?
Only, Chair, to echo those comments from an official point of view, so that I think it's right to put on record thanks from the team and the wider teams around the region for the same reason, really, for Dame Norma and the role she's played in convening and leading the devolution process. And I wanted to say that personally as well. I had a huge amount of support through that process from Norma, and I'm really grateful for that. I just want to put that on record, Chair.
Thank you. She'll be an absolutely massive miss around this cabinet table. Moving on then, item 4 is minutes. Can I ask that Cabinet agree the minutes of the previous meeting, which was held on the 28th of January this year? Agreed? Lovely. Thank you very much. Okay, so item 5. This is a really, really big moment for us as a combined authority, because today, and you'll forgive me for kind of joining up this agenda, we present up a joined up plan for growth, from transport to tourism, skills for young people, skills for workers. We're setting out our growth plan in both our strategy and in our delivery here today, and that's the context when we look at this first item of business on the agenda. This is us signing off £200 million more, in fact, of investment into transport across our region. It's part of wider plans for £800 million of North East transport improvement as a minimum over the next 3 years. This is an ambitious transport plan, but as ambitious as it is, I want to say really clearly that it does not represent the extent of our ambition, and we want to see even more than this, both fixing the infrastructure that we've got and also building further on it. I think the truth is, and we're all honest about this, that the North East Transport Network hasn't been good enough for too long, and we have had to cope with temporary fixes. We're doing that at the moment, and a lack of investment. But now we can start to reverse that and build the infrastructure of opportunity across our region in the transport network today. We've got, as a brief run through, although I'll never be able to go through the extensive list, a new North Shields ferry landing, which will safeguard our iconic Shields ferry and create an improved service for thousands of passengers, but it will also enhance the North Shields Fish Quay, which is a huge thing for North Tyneside, really bolstering that area and enabling local growth. We're also stepping up the rollout of mobile and smart ticketing on metro and local rail, so we can start that big process of integration that people want to see. We'll see 100 kilometres of better walking, wheeling and cycling infrastructure, including a route from St Mary's Lighthouse to Whitley Bay all the way to Blyth, linking up North Tyneside and Northumberland. And as part of our pledge for safer transport, because we all know that people will not use it if it simply isn't safe, we will see new metro gate lines as a key station supporting the improvement of public transport, particularly for women and girls and other vulnerable and other groups who may feel vulnerable travelling, as well as protecting fares. And today we can announce that the first of those will go into Regent Centre. That'll be the first new station with new gate lines and ticket barriers, so that we can get started on those later this year, and we'll be rolling them out at pace from there. And as for bus users, the safety and accessibility improvements, including improved bus stops across the North East, better connected and integrated services, and of course we're continuing to work as we move towards franchising and publicly controlled buses, which is crucial, with the bus companies to try and push them for a better service, because people really deserve this. I must say, despite this ambitious plan that we've had in the offing for a long time now, really disappointed to see that the latest rail station performance statistics and the North East being let down once again by Northern Rail. We hear a lot of media noise about the service in the Northwest, but the evidence shows that Northern trains need to do more in our region to improve services for passengers. Northern cancellations at Newcastle Station, January and February 25, for example, stood at 6.3% compared to 3.3% at Manchester Piccadilly or 4.7% at Leeds. It's not good enough. We need it to improve. January and February, almost 11% of the trains in Sunderland were cancelled, making it the 6th worst station in the country for Northern cancellations. and this improved a little bit in February and March to 4.8, but it's still considerably poorer compared to the Northwest Station of Bolton, for example, which was 3.6%. So my message to them is that they're on our radar, not just them, but the bus companies as well. We all need to make sure that they sort out their services, and I think we can all agree on that. Is there any questions or comments on this item before I ask people to agree the recommendations and put into action this incredible local transport plan? Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm supposed to have passed to Gazla Gannon, who is the Cabinet Member for Transport after that. So I'll come straight to you, Martin, and then we'll go around the table. Thank you. My apologies. Sorry, first
Don't
day
worry
back.
about it, Nair
First day back.
McGuinness. See, I'm getting used to the right
I
time.
think we can definitely do first names. Let's just agree
All right,
now.
okay,
There'll be no madams, mayors,
Oh, thank
castles.
you.
Let's just first name terms.
Sorry, I promise extremely briefly. We have been in existence as a combined authority for 10 months. I think we just need a sort of pause, only briefly, to take stock of what actually we've achieved in that 10 months. I thought genuinely it was an ambitious target to go through a public consultation and set the parameters of just in terms of one item, the local transport plan, and have that agreed by this cabinet in March. So therefore, I think we need to recognise that. We've carried out an extensive public consultation exercise on this plan. 16,000 responses. I think that's probably the best response rate to any consultation that's ever been carried out in the region by any authority. 15,500 individual responses. Yes, there's been responses by organisations, but 15,000 from individuals. And I think the return from females was 46%.
No, it was higher. It was over 50.
Higher, was it?
It was over
Right, sorry,
50.
my apologies. I'm very pleased to hear that.
Me too.
I should have noted it even better. But I think that's and significantly, the vast majority of those responses have been positive. You quite rightly, Mayor, have outlined that in terms of historically, the northeast of England has not had a fair settlement. I mean, I keep on saying that we have, 43 miles of motorway. We have a dual track rail line. I mean, we have three, thanks to Northumberland Council, we now have three rail lines in the northeast of England, but we have the Tyne Valley line and the East Coast Main Line. It's just two track. And we're not talking about some concept about it being insufficient capacity in 20, 30 years' time that will constrain the ability of the northeast economy to grow in 30, 40 years' time. It's at maximum capacity now. It has 6 slots an hour. You can't get more trains on it. LNER want to put more trains on it, but the region, and actually consequently the national economy, because there are limitations in how the rest of the country can connect to the East Coast Main Line as a consequence of the constraints in the northeast of England. So we have been badly served in terms of infrastructure support over the years. You have outlined much better than I can, the ambitious programme that we've laid down. Immediately we're talking about £200 million. Now, I'm conscious of the fact that when you talk about £200 million, people don't necessarily take in the impact of that, okay? But what we need to do as local authorities and as combined authority is to demonstrate how that will impact upon people's lives, the improvements in terms of, the ability for people to, walk or cycle, the improvement in terms of the substantial investment that's going to be made into the electric vehicle recharging network.
Yeah.
Literally thousands of new charging points, particularly for those people who wouldn't otherwise get access to charging facilities. So, so there's £200 million. We have a programme up to 2027 through CRSTS alone, and there are other funding streams as well of over £500 million. But again, Kim, you have outlined that is not the limit of our ambition. We've already, in those 10 short months, started the process of regulating bus services.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to, use this up. Well, I will very briefly. I mean, I attended, for example, and it's only one community. I attended a public meeting on Friday night in Holtwhistle, where the local residents expressed repeatedly their disappointment with the bus service that they receive, the 685, which is run by Stagecoach. I'm not particularly singling out Stagecoach, because there'll be other examples across the region where that community has had a less than optimal service. The person who organised that public meeting, Rachel Matheson, I think her name was, I take my hat off to her, because she's actively campaigning in that community, and is a real credit to the community in taking those issues forward. So yes, we've started that process, and we have to go through the long legal process, but we will get there in terms of bringing what gets called public transport, bus services, back under public control, massively improving the quality of service. But our ambition doesn't end there. We have already made substantial investment from our own resources in the business planning for the Leamside North, which, subject to campaigning to get the additional investment from government, and we will make a compelling business case, because I think the economics of that are extremely clear. Probably about a 700 to 800 million pound investment required to open up the Leamside North, with all of the stations included, but increases the tax revenue take by 90 million pounds a year. Now, by any cost-benefit analysis, that's a sound cost-benefit analysis in terms of investment. And we're already doing work in terms of the land value capture, in terms of increased land values, that we can be able to make a local contribution for that scheme. We continue to campaign for the complete opening of the Leamside line. We need, as I've already outlined, our economic potential is being constrained by our lack of connectivity, and we've already started that work, and we've also started the work funded by ourselves in terms of the economic growth around that corridor, which of course makes the argument for the investment that's going to be required to open the East Coast Main Line. So my message is, yes, we've been poorly served nationally, that the establishment of the combined authority of the 7 local authorities working together under the elected mayor has been a major step forward in driving forward a key economic growth factor such as transport investment. We've moved a long way in 10 months, but over the period that we're talking about here up to 2040, I am absolutely convinced that there'll be a quantum leap in terms of improvement of transport infrastructure across the region. Not just improving the quality of people's lives in terms of that connectivity for social and cultural enhancement, but it'll massively increase the economic growth and potential of the region.
Thank you. Amanda, I think you had your hand up.
Thanks, Kim. As leader of Durham County Council, it would be remiss of me not to thank government for the 23 million, but at the same hand say it would have been nice to have the 73 that we did have in writing from the previous government. And I appreciate that the new government has said the money's not there. So I think a lesson to be learnt by anyone is not to make promises of things that don't exist and haven't been through due process, because that is extremely disappointing for both County Durham and the region to have had £50 million pulled from underneath them when they had a letter confirming that was what we were getting as part of the settlement. That would have gone a long way in County Durham and also regionally, with some huge projects that won't be able to take place now in the next couple of years from the loss of that money. But I do think it's a lesson that lots of people can learn right across the board, is when we are going out, it's easy to make a promise of something if you haven't done the background to make sure that the money's there to deliver it. So thank you.
Thank you.
And can I also thank the officers, because pulling this together
It's massive.
in this timescale is no mean feat, and it is a working document. It's not to go on a shelf, it's to be used all the time and referred to. So thank you.
Tracy?
Thanks very much, Kim. I mean, Martin's already mentioned the figures within the report, which is absolutely phenomenal. It's astounding. You've also mentioned the Liam Sign Lane. We know that can help with connectivity. But what's important is that this will help our residents access the likes of education and training, employment right across the region. So this report is absolutely welcomed. And again, an awful lot of hard work has gone in over the last number of months. So can I just say a huge thank you. Fantastic report, Kim.
Thank you. Carl, then Martin.
Hi, Kim. I think anyone that knows me knows North Shields Ferry has been a big passion of mine for a long time. I've probably been banging on about it longer than anyone in this room. To eventually get there with the money is fantastic. Had we have lost the ferry, it would have never met a business case ever to bring it back, but it is such a vital part of our region's transport infrastructure. Providing a link between North and South Shields is fantastic there. But it'll also go along with our regeneration of North Shields. It will be a fantastic part of that fish quay. North Shields is a town on the up. And to finally get this money sent off today is a real fantastic thing. So I just want to thank all the officers from both the council and the combined authority that have worked on this to make it a possibility.
Thank you. Martin?
Sorry, it was just to echo support for Amanda's point, and I say that as a representative of the party which is currently in government. Okay? And I suppose I could say, well, it's relatively easy to make promises when you're in government. The previous government, we would have had high-speed rail links. We would have had the A1 dual north of Northumberland, and a whole range of other things which were promised but never delivered and funded. Okay, and I accept all the points in terms of, you know, the new government has a really challenging financial environment to work in. You know, the black hole, the anticipated increased growth in defence spending, the growth in welfare spending, which is projected to go over the next few years. I haven't read the announcements today, but go from whatever £70 million to £100 billion, over the next few years. So I know there's real challenges for the government, but ultimately, to me, this is an issue about equity and fairness. You know, Durham County Council became part of the combined authority, and we discussed with the previous government a settlement that was in line with the rest of the region, and that's what the previous government committed to. So from my perspective, and it's not for me to speak for you, Kim, but I know you share the same view, our job is to fight for the northeast of England.
Yeah.
Right? And I think there's a principle here which is about equity and fairness, and we will continue to make those representations as strongly as possible to this government. Right, okay?
Any other comments or questions?
Close, but not. I won't rise to that. But
Lovely. Well, this is, as I said, a real landmark. This is £200 million worth of transport investment in this region right now. This is not something we're talking about. It's something we're doing. It's something we're delivering as part of £800 million worth of projected future spend on transport. And it is not even, as I've already said, the start of our ambitions. We have promised the greenest public transport network in the country. We've promised safety, reliability and affordability, and that is what we will deliver. On the buses and on those trains, please know to those bus companies and those train companies, we will get after you, because reliability is everything when it comes to growth in this region, when it comes to helping people to get to the places that they need to be. They deserve it and they rely on it, and it needs to be better. In terms of the Leamside Investment Corridor mentioned by a couple of Cabinet members around the table, I think that the government need to hear us loud and clear. There is not a better investment than that in the north of England when it comes to growth, when it comes to housing, when it comes to linking up parts of the north, and crucially when it comes to lifting the pressure on the overstretched East Coast main line. We hear a lot about how much pressure the West Coast is under. We need investment across the East in order for all parts of this country to grow. And that is the message to government more broadly. You will not get growth without investment in public transport. You will not get growth without investment in transport more generally. It is an absolutely enabling factor in the key mission of that government. And we're seeing really clearly we're a region that can and will deliver as we embark on this journey to create the infrastructure of opportunity for the people that live here. There are a lot of recommendations in this report. I'm going to assume everybody's been through them and take them all as a block. So can I ask Cabinet to agree the recommendations in the local transport plan report? Brilliant. Thank you very much. All right. Item 6 is another really big moment for the region as we lay out this region's plan for growth. This is a vision that I think the whole of the North East can feel a shared sense of ownership for. It's a plan that will bring jobs to every part of the region and create opportunity for young people growing up here. The North East, I think it's safe to say, has lacked the power that we've needed to deliver plans for growth like this in the past. But we've already taken steps with devolution to change that, and this document, this plan, is the next step in that for us in the region. When the region last did a plan like this, it wasn't something that was there for the public, who were rightly much more focused on delivery than documents and strategy. But I think it's worth saying that the purpose of this plan is to create jobs. It's to create jobs that build into careers and create more opportunity for people in the North East. It's a plan that will succeed or fail based on two things, in my opinion, that matter the most to working people. How much money you've got left in your bank account at the end of your pay packet, and how proud you are to work in this great region. I want to single out a couple of things from the growth plan which I think really stand out for us as our key opportunities. First of all, green industries and green energy, particularly offshore wind. The plan that we're setting out to consult on today sets out a 10-year vision to be the UK's home of green energy. That means thousands of manufacturing jobs, thousands of offshore wind jobs on our rivers and on our ports and out off the coast of this region. We've got unrivaled access to the North Sea. Real jobs doing a proper day's work, and that's the pledge that you'll always be able to judge this combined authority and myself as Mayor on. Our vision means the kids growing up here today can look to the future with a job in the green industries and the offshore wind industry, in the same way that my dad grew up looking at a future on the shipyards, and many people's dads grew up looking at a job in the mines. Those young people will be soon learning their skills in a new green energy super academy as we set out this plan, and perhaps one day they'll service the wind turbines that take the carbon out of our economy. I think it's also really important to say that this plan features heavily on putting culture at the heart of our growth plan, and of course leaning into the fact that we need to grow our foundational economy if there's anything that we're going to do in this region to help people get a better job and to succeed. So this is the launch of the consultation on a plan that will steer a decade worth of regional, national and private investment in our region, and even more from big industry. I want to remain focused on the everyday North East worker and their needs in the region. And this is the plan that delivers that will deliver real opportunity for young people growing up here. I'm going to come first of all to Councillor Johnson for your comments as the Cabinet Member for representing today. That's okay?
Is this for the North East Local Growth Plan?
Yes.
Yeah. I was speaking a lot actually.
Do you want to go to John first and then we'll come back to you?
Thanks, Kim. Well, first of all, I would just echo everything that you've just said there about the plan, about the quality of it, the integrity of it, and really importantly, the purpose of it, what we're trying to achieve here. I, like you, have seen it close quarters in recent weeks, the work that the officer team and colleagues around the table have put into to get the plan to where it is today. It's in excellent shape. I'm really excited now to see it rolled out around the rest of our region, to get some feedback from all sorts of stakeholder communities on it. Since Cabinet last met, we've had our first meeting of the new Business and Economy Board. We welcomed some new colleagues onto that board, but we also had some former colleagues who've been involved the Combined Authorities work for some time, and we talked really at length about the plan and about our input to that plan going forward. It's going to form really the focus of our work as we progress over the next few months and years. We're absolutely clear it's about accentuating the positives of this region, this fabulous region, the best region in which to start and grow a business and create wealth and prosperity for all. We've structured our work from the outset around the 5 missions that are within the plan. So we've created 5 subgroups staffed by outstanding senior business leaders and industry specialists who are going to be contributing to the work to make sure that we're implementing those missions to the full. And it's really important that we use the plan, we all coalesce around the plan as our kind of narrative, if you like, for the region. This is our pitch document to the world when we're looking for investors, when we're looking to attract and retain the very best talent, and when we're looking to increase investor confidence in our region. This is the document that we'll coalesce around. So it's a fabulous piece of work, and I congratulate everybody involved in it so far.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll add my congratulations to those who've worked on it, and thanks actually to all cabinet members. It doesn't work this year. It is absolutely the pitch document for the region. It's also the agreed way that mayors will work with directly Number 10 and the Prime Minister to deliver growth through the National Industrial Strategy. And all of these growth plans will make that National Industrial Strategy. The strength of ours is absolutely crucial, and it really is a very, very strong document. And without all of those component parts, that make up the region on a whole, talking about the key strengths that we've got, in offshore wind, in green energy, in culture and creativity, and advanced manufacturing, and digital and technology, and the list goes on, made up from all different parts of our region, we are absolutely nothing. And so it really is testament to the joined up work, and I'm grateful to the new business board for getting behind this. I really do think that when we're going out there as Team North East, there really isn't a stronger voice in this country, and we need to make damn sure that that is where we are. I don't know, Henry, whether you want. I think you wanted to come in on this as well.
Yeah, Chair, just 1 or 2 quick points. The team would tick me off if I didn't make them echo everything that's been said about the importance of the document, and it builds on lots of evidence and collaboration you can see reflected in this. The devolution deal, the Trailblazer deal, the manifesto, you can see the build, and we'll start to see, as we have with transport and then with skills, with culture, the kind of plans for the region in its particular sectors hanging off this. So it's a really important document for that reason. It's also an interim document. So if we think we can improve it, let's lean in and do that over the coming months. That's the point of putting it out there, to be shaped. The other thing to say is just to make Cabinet and the public aware there is lots of granular work going on the business cases within that document, as you would completely expect, and many of the things that we are pushing at in train already. The point really, to go back to Councillor Hopgood's comment earlier, is that this is a delivery document, and we know as an officer team this is all about delivering what's in the plan, and that's what we'll be focused on from here on in. Thanks, Chair.
Absolutely, it is nothing without delivery. And to second that point about it being an interim document, we're going out to consultation now. Some months ago, when we went out on quite a lengthy and extensive consultation, or as I prefer to put it, a public conversation about public transport and about transport more broadly for the local transport plan, we said really clearly to the people of the region, this is not a conversation that is exclusively there for those who know something about transport. It is a conversation for people in our region who have to get around. This is exactly the same thing. This is not a consultation that is there purely for businesses to have their say. This is for the people of the region to talk to us about what their aspirations are for growth, what they think it looks like, and to tell us their views on what we think our region's strengths are and how we want to proceed as part of that National Industrial Strategy and really get growth in all parts of the country, and primarily get growth here and create the jobs that people want to see for their own future. Martin, do you want to come in?
Yeah, can I just say, from the perspective of the voluntary community sector, the plan is very welcome. Its emphasis on foundational economy is particularly noted and welcome. The focus on child poverty obviously is something that is really core to the sector, as well as to your own ambitions. And I think also the recognition of the role of the voluntary community sector in contributing directly to growth is really welcome. And may I say, just from the process of engaging with the officers, it's been a really welcome process as well. So it's a good document. We're really pleased with it.
Thank you very much. And I think your point there about child poverty is really crucial. This is, I think in the past, what we would have seen from growth plans and industrial strategies like this is a list of sectors. And of course, we highlight what sectors we're good at in this plan. We're really clear about where we think our strengths lie, but we're also really clear about telling the story of the region, the context in which we operate, the fact that we will not get sustainable growth if we don't tackle our social issues, including child poverty, and that is fundamental to our plans for the future. So thank you, and thanks to the community voluntary sector for the role that they've played in feeding into this point, and we look forward to seeing more of that during the consultation. Tracy?
Yeah, thanks very much. Thanks, Kim. I mean, obviously you've just touched upon their child poverty. Hopefully this will help break down, the barriers and give people the opportunity to get employment, in particular with regard to health and childcare. But what is welcomed within this is obviously that it's positive that the defence element has been linked into it, bearing in mind the government shift with regard to defence. I'm sure we'll all have areas of expertise across our region, but from a South Tyneside perspective, we do have companies that have that expertise, where they link in with contracts with the likes of the Ministry of Defence and supply parts for, aircrafts and what have you. So, absolutely welcome this report.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think recognising the changing context that we're operating in and the fact that we need as a region to be able to stand up quickly is absolutely crucial. Martin?
Sorry, just two things very briefly, because this is obviously not my area of expertise, except to say, first thing is, I think what this demonstrates today, the whole agenda, is about the strategic, holistic approach we are taking as an authority under your leadership. In terms of the previous item we've discussed in terms of transport, and later on the agenda in terms of skills. Of course, what we do is to present the very best face of the northeast of England, what the development and investment opportunities are. But without the skills infrastructure and the skills development, and without transport infrastructure, we are hamstrung. Okay, so the fact that we are, I suppose it's by serendipity that they've come together on one agenda, right? But the three issues are linked, and I think that just demonstrates the way they've come together on this agenda today. The holistic approach that this authority has taken. The second point I was going to raise really, really briefly, okay, is about the commitment, the highlight in terms of, the transition in terms of the green economy and revolution, and the commitment to net zero. And I'm not going to make a party political point about certain politicians today saying net zero by 2050 isn't achievable. But all I can say is that I think that the generation below us expects more ambition than that. I know, because I've got a 22-year-old daughter, and believe me, she tells me we're not and when I say we, I'm not saying we in the northeast of England, or me personally. What she means is our generation. Okay, the generation below us expect better in terms of moving towards that green transition, and I'm pleased that it's up front and centre in our agenda.
Excellent, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Sorry, Glenn?
I would just like to say the beauty of this cabinet is that we can have very different views, political views, and that generally we let some of it go over our shoulder without rising to it. But on the whole, we are on the same page, I think. And I think this is a very good example of pulling together those thoughts that we have talked about, blending in the importance of our environmental responsibilities and our environmental opportunities, because we are blessed in this region with natural phenomena that will actually help us deliver what we want. And growth equals confidence, whether that's confidence in people building factories or confidence in the young person that didn't like school and the school didn't like them. They're out of work, but the opportunity of a job will build that confidence. And so all of it blends in very well. So even though we do have different views, which then on this one we are as well.
Yeah, and absolutely, I think it's really important to say how strong the representations have been from parts of our region, including Gateshead, Northumberland and County Durham, on representation from our rural economies in the growth plan, and we're grateful for that, because it is a very diverse region in that sense. Well, thank you very much. It has been, as I said, a real collective, collaborative effort to get this growth plan to the point it's at now. We want to get out and get the views of the public now. As I said, this is a conversation about growth for everybody, not just for those who think they know about it. So please do take part, and then let's get on and deliver it. Let's work tirelessly to deliver it, because I would love to see I'd love to see those who question it proven wrong, and to demonstrate that growth is absolutely possible in all parts of the country, and first of all, it's possible here.
Can I add
Yeah.
about the next steps process, because it will be important, I think, for us to support you in this and to help in any way we can to get this delivered in our own counties or councils. Have we thought about a plan for that yet?
Yeah, we've got a big roadshow of in-person engagement plus online consultation and conversation. Basically, by every means available to us, we'll be trying to reach the public about their views on this growth plan. So thank you, and we'll absolutely be in touch about how you can help us to spread the word. Again, 3 recommendations here. I'm going to take them all together if that's okay. Can I ask Cabinet to agree the recommendations?
Agreed.
Thank you very much. Okay, item 7 is the North East Combined Authority Excellence in Education programme. This represents £5 million worth of commitment to creating real opportunities starting in the classroom at the very earliest stage. The education figures in this paper speak for themselves. Too many kids go into a classroom and fall behind their friends. Our teachers see it every single day, and they need our support to help overcome those barriers that too many young people face. We need to empower teachers with what they need to do the best by young people. I've seen firsthand the incredible job that teachers and schools are doing, not just to educate young people, but to go the extra mile to support life chances. Austerity and the pandemic and increasing workloads have put enormous strain on teachers in our schools. And schools and teachers, as we all know, are on the absolute front line of the fight against child poverty. And I've been in schools myself recently and seen some of the incredible work, but also some of the heartbreaking circumstances under which too many of our schools are working, as well as some of the incredible work they're doing to embed early careers and have those conversations about opportunity with young people from the earliest possible age. And so in the North East, we will back them. We want this to be the home of real opportunity, and I'm really glad that we are backing our schools and our teachers with this £5 million worth of investment today. And with that, I'll hand over to Tracy, who's the Cabinet lead on this.
Okay, thanks very much, Kim. We've heard from our Mayor that the North East can be the most fantastic place to grow up and to raise a family. But poverty is limiting the life chances and outcomes of many of our children and families across the region, and their ability to benefit from everything it has to offer. Addressing and preventing child poverty is a critical social and economic goal for the region and a fundamental part of our economic growth mission. Giving all children a better start will improve life chances, unlock the economic potential of people with major barriers to learning, working and living full lives, and reducing the pressures on public services. This Cabinet paper seeks approval for a new Excellence in Education programme addressing unacceptable regional educational inequalities for work to commence from September 2025. This work will invest in our youngest residents, creating a new all-inclusive programme that creates a home of real opportunity where all children and young people will have equal opportunities to realise their potential and be a part of the region's future success. Members will note the context section of the report highlights the challenges we face as a region in terms of education inequalities and why we need to act now. The proposed work will therefore aim to tackle this regional educational disadvantage and deliver on the North East Combined Authorities Mission 1, Home of Real Opportunity. This programme will work to the priorities emerging from Mayor McGuinness's Child Poverty Reduction Unit and builds upon the knowledge and insights of our 7 constituent local authority school improvement teams. This new proposal seeks investment over a 3-year period to deliver against a set of 3 priority areas and identified in collaboration with our local authority education directors and other regional stakeholders. These identified priorities will not only provide opportunities to align to and support the aims and objectives of the Mayor's Manifesto commitment to tackling child poverty through the new formed Child Poverty Reduction Unit, but also to the emerging work with the Public Service Reform Portfolio and the Skills for Business work around careers and apprenticeships. This work will invest in our youngest residents, creating an inclusive programme that will create a home of real opportunity where children and young people, regardless of their background, have equal opportunities to realise their potential and to be part of the region's future successes. The priorities of the programme are: 1. Inclusion. This will include projects and interventions designed to improve attendance levels, address the social, emotional, mental health and well-being of children and young people, and support transition for pupils both into school and within phases such as primary to secondary. The second priority is realising potential. This will support skill development in literacy, oracy and mathematics for our most disadvantaged children and young people, and promote cultural capital and personal development. And the third priority is teacher wellbeing and development, and this priority area acknowledges the vital role that teachers and school leaders play and will subsequently invest in their skills, resilience and leadership strengths to create a sustainable culture of our excellence in our schools. Thanks very much, Kim.
Thank you very much. Absolutely brilliant. Any questions or comments? Karen?
I just really want to say how much I welcome the report and the work that yourself and Councillor Dixon have put into this along with officers. I think we've already talked about the opportunities that we're going to see in the region in the next 10 years. The growth plan is a brilliant document. It's our blueprint, isn't it, for the future? But we need to make sure that all of our young people are able to access those opportunities that we've talked about. And this is a really important way of supporting those people who are furthest away from that to level up with their peers and make sure that they've got opportunities in the future. I think it's a great piece of work. Congratulations, Tracy.
Thank you. Amanda?
Endorse everything that Karen said. I think this is excellent and we should be doing this for young people. It was certainly one of our ambitions when we took over in Durham in 2021. And just for the record, if any local authority hasn't done it, please consider doing auto-enrolment for free school meals, because in Durham that has brought 2,500 children into free school meals who weren't getting them, saving those households £400 per child. And in addition to that, brought in 3.5 million of pupil premium into County Durham schools. Now that's money that wasn't being received before. That's helping those who need it the most. And of course we know that once you've got pupil premium, it goes all the way through your school life with you, regardless of whether your circumstances changed. That, I'm not saying it was an easy thing to do, but it's a way of getting extra funding in. So everything that we can do as a combined authority, there will be other opportunities out there that we can look at as constituent authorities. And that's one of those things that can add that little bit more as well, or in some cases quite a lot more.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I know that a number of authorities are either already doing auto-enrolment, including North Tyneside, or are and Gateshead, or are working very fast towards doing that. So thank you and congratulations on having done that. Any other questions or comments on this report? Well, it really is brilliant. It is creating opportunity in schools, helping directly to fight poverty and really backing the front line of those who are educating kids for the future in our region to take up these opportunities that we're creating through the growth plan and all of the other investment that we're making. Can I ask Cabinet to agree the 2 recommendations on this report, please? Lovely. Thank you very much. Item 8 is unlocking finance for North East businesses to start and grow. So we're moving on with our plans to make sure that businesses can thrive across our region. A huge part of our growth plan, of course, the North East is known for innovation and for an entrepreneurial spirit. We've got tens of thousands of amazing small businesses, which are, of course, at the beating heart of our economy, but we need more of them. They're the shops filling up the vacant lots on the high street. They're the restaurants making our region a foodie paradise. We've seen recent examples in the new Sheepfolds area of Sunderland, which is absolutely brilliant. They're the arts and the crafts ventures showcasing the best of the cultural and creative economy in our region. But despite their achievements, we know that small businesses have struggled at times to attract funding in our region, and that there's too much cash that goes to either bigger firms or firms in London and the southeast instead. We also know that that needs to end now. And so we're stepping in to invest £70 million so that at least 470 small businesses and entrepreneurs can take the next step in their success. And who knows, that might end up creating the next Greggs or the next Barber or the next Berghaus, and I could go on, but I won't. And we want this to create £350 million in growth and 2,300 new jobs. And I think those are conservative estimations, because this is not a fund that is about handing out grants. Crucially, this is a sustainable fund that is about either equity or lending to bring money back into the combined authority so we can continue to grow this programme and support more new businesses. That's us taking this into our own hands, creating local jobs for local people in our homegrown businesses, and it's crucial in our fight as well against child poverty in our region. And for families who have the ideas but don't necessarily have the means, who might be struggling with that idea and struggling to put food on the table at the same time, who can't necessarily afford to wait for the highly skilled digital future that they're too often promised. They need it to be delivered now. They need their ideas and their entrepreneurial spirit backing. And so by investing in small business, we want to see employment opportunities appear quickly. And we won't be wasting any time on this. The theme throughout this agenda, as well as the real joined-up nature of all of the different elements of it, is that it's about delivery. And we expect the North East Investment Fund to be striking its first deals within the coming weeks. So this is going to be really, really quick. It's a huge part of making our region the home of real opportunity, and I'm really pleased to see this on the agenda, delivering on the promise that I made, that we made, to back small business in our region. I think on this one, I am supposed to come to Councillor Johnson. I'm sorry about before, but over to you, please.
Thank you, Kim. Obviously, working with businesses in the portfolio within Sun, I'm delighted to be able to present this report on behalf of Councillor Mordy. And it fits perfectly well with the other reports we've already heard in terms of transport and the local growth plan, in terms of supporting people with business growth and back into jobs and things as well. So one of our missions is to make the North East home to a growing, vibrant economy for all. And to do this requires breaking down barriers to growth, and one of those barriers is access to finance. The current system is not working well enough, and our businesses are not getting the financial support they need to reach their full potential. Research commissioned by the Combined Authority shows there's a £19 million per year gap between what businesses need and what is currently available to them. And closing that gap is critical to creating jobs and delivering growth and innovation. Our investment framework prioritises driving innovation and investment in R&D. This is an important part of our local growth plan. Access to finance is a historic problem due to the number of factors. Our region's distance from London, where many of the financial businesses are located, or relatively small scale compared to London in the southeast, and also the lack of venture fund and investor presence within the northeast. The most significant gap is in early stage equity funding, where the investor takes ownership stake in the company in return for investment. So this is what we're going to do to close that gap and build a successful modern economy. We'll create 2 new funds providing equity and loans to get businesses the investment they need to grow and prosper. One is a successor to the current North East Fund. The new fund will be £19 million in size, £30 million from the Combined Authority borrowing, £30 million from the Combined Authority grant, and £30 million of legacy funding to be recycled from previous regional funds. This fund will help close the gaps in investment available for regional businesses. Also, University co-invested early stage commercialisation and spin-out fund. And this investment is to support businesses which will need to take a longer term to get established and grow and be in a position to pay back. It will target high risk, but also high growth potential, early stage ventures and startups. Businesses being created from the commercialisation of research and innovation at our universities, the NHS and catapults. This fund will be £22.5 million in size, £10 million from the Combined Authority, and £12.5 million of co-investment from regional universities. It will target 30 early stage companies with high potential and provide a pipeline of our strategic sites and innovation districts, including Akeley Heads and Net Park, the Helix and businesses of the International Advanced Manufacturing Park. It will work with some of our exciting centres of innovation, including the forthcoming North East Space Skills and Technology Centre at Northumbria University. And together we anticipate that over the next 15 years, these two new funds will invest £390 million in regional SMEs, including private sector co-investment of £170 million, supporting more than 470 regional businesses and creating, hopefully a minimum, but many more, but 2,300 jobs. You'll recall the Cabinet approved these funds in principle in September 2024. Since then, we've been through a procurement process which is now in its final stages and will conclude at the end of March 2025. So the recommendations are, in conclusion, are building on the resolutions we agreed in September. I'm recommending that we agree: 1, the approach to unlocking finance for North East businesses to start and grow, and set out in the report, and fund for £70 million of North East Combined Authority Investment Fund to be invested in the creation of these new strategic investment funds, which are collectively expected to unlock over £350 million of investment in regional businesses and 2,300 jobs over the next 15 years. That the Chief Executive, in consultation with the Mayor and relevant portfolio holders, is authorised to undertake the next steps and take decision relating to implementation of the proposals, including all necessary procurement decisions in line with the parameters approved by the North East CA Finance and Investment Board, which include the finalisation of the investment strategy and funding arrangements for the funds, an award of the £70 million worth of funding in the required proportion of grant and loan to the North East Fund Limited, the regionally owned holding company responsible for these funds, and finally to receive a future report on the overall status of the financial arrangements now under the control of the North East Combined Authority, including legacy arrangements and proposals on how they may be streamlined in terms of their operation, including required future changes to the governance structures of the North East Fund Limited to facilitate the approach set out. I commend that report to the Combined Authority.
Thank you very much. Any comments or questions there on the report? Yeah, John?
Yeah, just more great news for North East business today. It's a massive boost for our SME community and for our university spin-outs. I'm looking forward to seeing what the fund managers come forward with in terms of how they design the packages, because many of the businesses that I've spoken to who had experience of the investment community before have spoken about frustration about the narrow nature of some of the products and services, the sort of off-the-shelf products that are available. So I really hope that the fund managers come forward with some really innovative ideas that are really bespoke to our North East business community. And if they do, this is going to just provide such a massive boost to SMEs and university spin-outs. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they come forward with. It's great news, this.
Excellent. Any other comments or questions? No, it is absolutely brilliant news, and to give that boost to our SMEs, to the absolutely incredible innovation coming out of our universities, to back them with real money for them to start and to scale and to grow is really, really crucial to us. And I think your point on making sure that this is a bespoke approach for businesses in our region, giving them the actual opportunity to access that funding, those who have found the landscape challenging before, probably because of its centralised nature, that's what this is all about. So I'm really pleased about this. And I'd ask Cabinet if they can to agree the recommendations on this report. Thank you very much. Right, item 9 is delivering the ambition for our regional visitor economy. Up next, we are looking at plans to boost visitors in this incredible region. I think that we will all agree around this table that this is, in fact, the best place in the world. Look at it outside in the city by the sea. It is an incredible day to be here in Sunderland, and it just goes to show how much there is to see. And we are going to be really bold with this. We want to double the amount of tourism, the amount that tourism contributes to our economy in the next decade. We know that we've got vibrant cities, we know we've got incredible market towns, we know we've got award-winning coastlines, we know we've got the best countryside anywhere in the country. We know that we are packed with world-class arts and culture, and yet our region receives the lowest number of domestic and international visitors. And so it's time to be an awful lot louder about who we are. And it's time to be an awful lot louder about the opportunity that there is to see incredible things here. So that means we're looking to set up a brand new body that promotes the best of our region, both at home and around the globe, that draws people to the incredible North East with our remarkable creative culture and sporting events, We're already seeing visitor numbers on the rise, so we're getting this at the right time when we're already in the ascendancy. In 2023, we welcomed 69 million people to the region who brought with them £6.1 billion into our regional economy. That's more cash for small businesses through B&Bs, restaurants, shops, hotels, but we want to see that number way higher so that our economy can thrive and our economy can thrive on sharing all that we have to offer with people beyond our region. And for local people, what that will mean is more jobs, it'll mean a vibrant economy, it'll mean increased investment into our towns and city centres, into our culture, creative and tourism offer for them to enjoy as well, creating more opportunity. So that's why we're doing this. It really does make a difference to our lives. To our lives, it makes a difference to people's lives to be able to come and see this great place by showcasing the region that I think we're all really proud to call home. So with that, can I hand over to Amanda, who is the Cabinet Member for this? I've given you just enough time to to recover.
Get a coffin fit, isn't it? So, I mean, Kim said quite a bit, and I think we all agree that this region is just simply the best place in the UK to live or visit. We've got 3 unique cities, historic towns, beautiful beaches and incredible rural areas. So there's not a region quite like ours anywhere else in the country. As Kim said, the tourism is worth £6.1 billion to the region, but that supports 63,000 jobs, and the number of visitors are rising steadily, but there remains huge growth potential in the sector. We need more people to know about our region, more people to visit us, and when they do, for them to stay longer. 3 years ago, the region was chosen by Visit England to pilot a destination development partnership covering all 7 local authority areas. And over 10 years, the ambition is to double the economic impact of our visitor economy and create 25,000 new jobs. In our Cabinet meeting in November, we requested, as part of a report on culture, creative, tourism and sport, that officers develop how we can build on the good start of the pilot to accelerate growth. And today we have an update on what progress on that progress with a set of proposed principles and functions for a new regional body to deliver. A key principle is that a new regional body is amplifying the offer of each local area and promoting the region as a whole to attract these new visitors. It's not about areas competing for the same visitors, but presenting a coherent story of what the whole region has to offer, so people don't just come here for a day or a weekend or passing through to get somewhere else, but they spend longer here and bring more benefit to our regional economy. Our coming together as part of a combined authority allows us to do that much easier. And it's time that visitors don't overlook us for other regions, and we put ourselves on the national and international map as the best place to visit and the place with the best events. And we find our own purpose. With the best will in the world, we're never going to compete with the Costas. As sunny as it is out there today, you're not going to go and lie on the beach at Seaburn and go home with a tan. We're going to have to, you might go home with a bit of frostbite now and again, but you're not going to come here to get a suntan. But we've got so much more to offer, and that's what we need to make sure we're getting out there, and there's so much more that people want. So a further report will be brought back later to a later Cabinet with final recommendations, and like everything else we've done today, following a period of engagement with the right people, so with the sector, with the stakeholders, with our residents. Because when we do this, we don't want to end up like other sectors of the other areas of the country where our residents feel left out. And we have all of this has got to be what's best for them and to be inclusive. So I think this is a fabulous opportunity for us to put the northeast of England well and truly on the map as a destination. We know what is brilliant about it. Now we've got to tell everyone else.
Absolutely, yeah. Although I'm sure, and maybe this is just because I'm so unbelievably, happy and cheerleady about the northeast, but I'm sure it is one of the driest places in the country and one of the sunniest. We might have to look it up. Let's not put it on record. Any questions or comments? I'm pretty sure it is. I'm sure there's something about that. Any questions or comments? We're the right side of the Pennines anyway. Yeah, Martin.
Because this is something I feel really passionate about. I'm always tempted to say, it's in my head to say, I wish I didn't live in the northeast of England, so I could visit it. if that gets reported right, okay. As I look around, I mean, for one, I don't want to go to the southern Mediterranean anymore. Okay, frankly, I just don't like the heat. So you can be as sunburned as you like. I was thinking about going to Norway, and I do also northern Norway because I want to go and see the northern lights. Also thought about Iceland, and I also want to go.
I'm going to stop you if you continue to promote other places.
Okay.
Awesome.
But
Yeah.
right, the reality is that I think we have assets in this region which are better than anywhere else in the world. I mean, I know you can sort of look through rose-coloured specs. We have the best airport in the world. It's the best. Say it again. It's the best airport in the world, voted by customers, voted by airlines for its size. 5 million capacity. Okay, so we have the best airport in the world. I mean, go on forever. Durham Cathedral, the Northumberland coast and countryside, the Durham Dales, right? Assets across the region, and yet we've lacked in the region a destination promotion internationally agency, and that's what we're pulling together. Each individual local authority has done a fantastic job in promoting events, air shows, tall ships, what they call Tour of Britain, whatever it might be. But bringing those assets together and the events that we organise, I think, and the development of an international conference centre gives us the opportunity to really transform. It's a major 19,000 people in Newcastle and Gateshead. Now, I don't know about the rest of the region, but 19,000 people in Newcastle and Gateshead work in hospitality. And people sometimes tell me, hospitality, low-paid jobs. That is not the case. Increasingly, don't know how to represent this. We have had a reputation in the past for being a sort of centre for stag weekends and hen weekends. But actually, what's developing in Newcastle and the region is 5-star plus hospitality. The people who have been trained through our colleges in hospitality management are going into really high-paid occupations. So it's a growth sector. During the recession, the first recession, the economic, what they got, the credit crunch, when the economy collapsed by 7%, it didn't in the hospitality sector.
No.
I mean, part of that was because people couldn't afford to go abroad, so they started having staycations. But the number of people who visited Tyneside during that period actually increased. It's a resilient, well-paid, potentially enormous growth sector, and we've got the best assets in the world.
I couldn't agree more. Any other questions or comments?
Kim, can I just,
Yes.
sorry, I missed it out at the end to put on record my thanks to Mark and Rob and Alison from Durham, who've worked tirelessly
Yeah.
to get this through.
And
So
actually
thank
to all of to you all, because every time we do something like this where we absolutely make the decision to come together on something as a region, it really strengthens us as a place and as a proposition. And so thank you very much, because Martin made the point that everybody's done individually a great job, but we know for a fact that we're stronger together as a region. Okay, excellent, really good. So with that, are we happy to agree the recommendations? Thank you very much. Okay, item 10 is the North East Combined Authority Strategic Risk Register. I'm not going to say an awful lot other than to say that we are in a really strong position, and the progress on this really does show that we are doing the right things in the right way. And so with that, I'll hand over to Mags to take us through it, if that's all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This report provides Cabinet with this 6-monthly update on the North East Combined Authority's strategic risks. Cabinet is recommended to review, comment upon and agree the risks, scoring and proposed management actions to mitigate those risks as set out in the appendix to the paper. Cabinet will remember that the strategic risks were reviewed and approved by Cabinet in September 2024. And since then, work's been going on to develop the corporate plan, local growth plan, and our mission-based approach to delivery, all of which have informed our view of delivery risks. In addition, we have now a fully appointed director team, as Kim mentioned earlier, and have continued to embed risk management across the organisation, with risk and opportunity registers now established at both programme and directorate levels. So the paper sets out the latest position on strategic risks. I'm just going to mention the main changes since September, of which there were 3. We have closed the risk that related principally to the establishment of and transition to the new combined authority. Political and policy-related risks are now reflected in the programmes to which they relate. The inclusion of a new risk associated with our transition to integrated settlement from April 2026, and a reduced risk score associated with transport funding now that certain funding streams have been confirmed and related programme delivery has commenced. We as a senior leadership team continue to formally review risks on a quarterly basis, and the next update to Cabinet will be in September. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments on the risk register? Thank you very much to you, Mags, and to your team for bringing this together. It's great to see that risk and our establishment going off the bottom of the list. That means that I think we can declare that certainly stage 1 is a massive success. And with that, can I ask us to agree the recommendations? Agreed. Lovely. Thank you very much. Item 11 is the programme delivery update. So again, this is over to Mags to give us an update on our forecast programme delivery plan position for 2024-2025. It's really just a health check in where we are against our priorities.
Okay, thank you again. So this is an update on programme delivery for the 24-25 financial year, which Cabinet will be aware is just about to end. This provides an update on total approved programme and commitments that we've made to date, and an overview of the corporate budget. Cabinet will remember previous budget monitoring reports in November 24 and January 25. So this is the approach to the end of our first year as the North East Combined Authority, and we are taking this opportunity to reflect on our progress on key investment and delivery programmes. So turning first to programme delivery, as reported to last meeting of Cabinet, the 5-year planned programme of delivery is 1.42 billion, and our investment spend for 24-25 is forecast at 408 million. In addition to that, we've confirmed through Cabinet 138 million. The 138 million is confirmed as spent through claims up to Q2. Cabinet will be aware that we have a delay in claims through our programme spend. So we are forecasting 408 by the end of the year. We have now evidenced spend of 138, but that just takes us to halfway through the year. So we're on track for where we think we'll be by year end. Since May 24, not including what's come through Cabinet today, we've confirmed 25 investment proposals, which commits 148 million from key funds, including our investment fund, early capital regeneration, investment zones and brownfield housing. And progress has also been made in the ongoing delivery of adult skills and transport capital and revenue programmes. As I've touched on somewhat in the previous paper, we have focused during this period on the establishment of robust approval, contract management and reporting processes, most notably through our implementation of the Single Assurance Framework and our risk management procedures. We've included within the report as an appendix the full performance pack, which covers the period from October to December 2024. We produce those quarterly. That's been reviewed in detail by the Finance and Investment Board and is brought to Cabinet today for information. Turning now to the corporate budget, not a great deal of change in terms of our forecast outturn compared to the report we brought in January. We are still forecasting an overall 1.2 million underspend. That's mainly arising through salaries as we've been operating with vacancies. Cabinet will also recall that we were and still are forecasting interest income of 16.5 million, of which just over 10 has been allocated to specific projects and to earmarked reserves through previous decisions through Cabinet. Any year-end surplus on the corporate budget will transfer into our reserves. So we remain focused on, through this process, accelerating programme delivery, strengthening our financial governance and ensuring timely reporting and risk management. So Cabinet is recommended to note the update on the financial position and on programme delivery.
Lovely, thank you. And thanks so much for this, because it really does show that we've got some really firm processes in place, making sure that we're spending the money that we've committed in a timely fashion and showing really positive leadership in all of this. So really appreciated. Any comments or questions on the report? No? Excellent. Are we happy to agree the recommendations? Fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, item 12 brings us to, I suppose, the conclusion of our full set of holistic actions when it comes to making sure that the North East is creating opportunity. And it's a paper on the North East Combined Authority Adult Skills Budget. This is an update to show our progress on the devolved Adult Skills Fund and on boot camps, both of which are crucial to supporting people into work, to giving them access to the opportunities that we're creating, and to making sure that we are nimble and agile and responding to the demand in a range of sectors for a skilled northeast workforce for the future. So with that, I'll hand over to Tracy, who's the Cabinet Member for this.
Thanks very much, Kim. The Combined Authorities Devolution Deal included a fully devolved Adult Skills Fund of £69 million for the academic year 24-25. The Combined Authority also successfully secured £17 million for the delivery of a skilled boots camp programme across the region. The first part of this report provides an update on provision that has been delivered through the devolved Adult Skills Fund and Skills Bootcamp funding during the first 6 months of the academic year 24-25. Secondly, the report sets out a proposed approach to allocating adult skills and skills bootcamp funding for 25 to 26. Our skills programme played a crucial role in realising our ambition to make the North East the real home of real opportunity. Skills delivered through this programme are supporting our residents to capitalise on good quality new jobs and opportunities in our growing sectors, at the same time as tackling the challenges facing our labour market. I'm delighted to report that during the first 6 months of this academic year, the Adult Skills Fund has supported over 23,000 residents to access over 49,000 learning opportunities across the region. Over 13,500 qualifications have been achieved, and over 1,300 residents have entered into employment as a direct result of participating in adult skills provision. The impact of this provision cannot be understated. A significant proportion of residents reported wider outcomes of learning, such as increased confidence and improved ability to support their child's education, and this is integral to the Mayor's and Cabinet's commitment to tackling child poverty in our region. Development of skills provision to access skill shortages in our key growth and opportunity sectors, including the foundry economy, continues to be a priority. The Skilled Bootcamp programme has trained over 2,200 residents in these sectors, which has led to 400 residents securing employment, over 200 in-work advancements, and 90 self-employed individuals securing new contracts to date. Further detail related to the adult skills and skills bootcamp provision in the first 6 months of the academic year is provided for members in Appendices 1 of this report. As set out in this report, the Combined Authority will receive a devolved adult skills allocation of £67 million for the academic year of 25 and 26, and the North East Combined Authority officers have been exploring a number of options for consideration in relation to the management of this funding and allocations to providers. Appendices 2 of this report sends out further details for members on the options that have been considered, and these have informed the recommendations set out in this report. We will continue to work with the adult skills provider base to ensure their delivery plan for the academic year 25-26 delivers against the mission set out by the Combined Authorities Corporate Plan, Interim Local Growth Plan, and Emerging Strategy for Employment and Skills, which will form your New Deal for North East workers. We will ensure funding is used efficiently to capitalise on good quality jobs in our growing sectors, including the foundational economy. Providers will be encouraged to collaborate further to reduce duplication and maximise the funding available for the region. In relation to the Skilled Bootcamp funding, I can confirm the Combined Authorities allocation for the year 25-26 is £26 million, an increase of £9 million on the previous financial year. We want to build on the momentum of the current year's Skilled Boots Camp programme and mobilise this fund as quickly as possible from the 1st of April 25. We are therefore recommending that current funding agreements in place with providers are extended for a further year. These take place in a range of sector areas including digital logistics, technical engineering, construction, green skills and the culture and creative sector. Provision is also taking place in the foundational economy in areas such as adult care and hospitality. The extended contracts will utilise 16 million of the funding and will also proposing to commission the remaining funds through an open and transparent procurement exercise. The recommendations in this report aims to ensure that the devolved adult skills funding and skilled boot camp programmes continues to be a crucial enabler to inclusive economic growth, ensuring our residents have the skills to access good employment opportunities, supporting existing businesses with a skilled workforce, as well as attracting inward investors looking to relocate to the region. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on this one, Karen?
I really welcome the report. I think I'm right in saying that uptake is much higher for courses in adult education than it was before devolution of budgets, and I think it's really testament. It shows that we know our people, we know our businesses, we know what's needed locally, and by devolving the budget in such a way you've just described, the uptake of those courses, we know they're relevant, we know they're helping people. It's just a real success story for devolution generally and for the North East.
Absolutely. Any other questions or comments? Oh, was that a hand? Sorry. I turned my head at the wrong time. Yeah, no, absolutely, completely agree with that. And actually, you know, uptake is one thing, bums on seats is one thing, but the most important thing is the outcomes. What are people getting out of this? And that report really shows that, you know, people are going into jobs, they're advancing their career, they're starting their own business as a result of the courses that are funded in this way. It fits with the growth plan, with the core sectors that we're leaning into as we're creating opportunity for people. We need to tailor more and more as we go forward around people's lifestyles, opening up access to these courses to people who otherwise might not feel that they are for them, bringing them into the community and supporting those that need it the most so that they can increase their income, take up new work and really contribute, but at the same time improve their lives. And you mentioned a new deal for North East workers. That is a little bit of a trailer for a paper that we'll be bringing in June, which is all about skills and the quality of work in the North East. And I really look forward to updating residents more on that as we move forward. With all of that, are we happy to agree the recommendations in this report? Thank you very much. All right, item 13 is the exclusion of the press and the public. So if I can ask the members of the media and all of our adoring public to leave, and if we can end the live stream, please, that would be great.